Do you want the true Western hunt experience? Book your hunt of a lifetime today with Highland Outfitters, LLC. Located in Highland, Wyoming, 50 miles west of Casper. Their location in central Wyoming gives you access to some of the best hunting areas in the state. Highland specializes in archery hunts for elk and antelope. Their operations include Wyoming, Texas, and Africa. Highland Outfitters employs some of the finest guides in the business. All guides are licensed by the Wyoming Board of Professional Outfitters and Guides. No matter what the species you decide to hunt, you can count on your guide giving you 110% of being the true professional guide from start to finish. Book your hunt today at 307-797-3311 or 307-797-3312. Visit them on the web at HighlandOutfitters.com. With Highland Outfitters, you will get the true Western adventure.
Folks, welcome to another episode of On the Limb Podcast with Nature's Voice Game Calls, where deer camp becomes a reality for every listener. Join us as we talk God, family, country, and everything outdoors. Kick back, relax, and have a listen. Now, here's your host and co-host, Mike and Dan.
Welcome back, folks. Man, do we have a story to tell you from out west?
We sure do.
So we just got back. We're just now setting up stuff in the studio. We just got back from Wyoming the other day with Highland Outfitters. We was out there with Tom and Terry Kessel at Turkey Camp and had a couple guys that was there with us. Tell us a little bit about that there, Dan.
Oh, yeah, so we had Jeffrey and Raymond. So I met Jeffrey. He worked for me out here in Missouri, and me and him got to do some turkey hunting out here last year and everything, and it came about, and I was like, hey, would you guys be interested, or not you guys, but I was like, hey, would you be interested in a turkey hunt for Merriam's in Wyoming? He's like, 100% he would be interested. He said, yeah, I probably got a buddy or two that would be extremely interested in it as well, and their enters Raymond, so.
Yeah, so Raymond was actually, or is both of them bull riders from Missouri?
So, yeah, Jeffrey rides bulls a little bit, and I think Raymond did. I don't think he does anymore, but I know he did.
Okay, gotcha. So, yeah, we had an amazing trip out there, and, it wasn't a bad drive. I mean, it was really good.
No, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It was, I looked at it today, or last night when I got back to work, and that's included in it, though, so all in from Wednesday to Monday, I put 3,694 miles on the truck.
Yeah, I think we checked it there when we got in cross lanes, and it was like 2959 or something like that.
No, it had to have been closer to 31 something, 3,000 something, because it's only 6. So yeah, it had been right at 3,000 miles at cross lanes.
Yeah.
When we got home. So, yeah, because it was 600 and some miles out here. So,
of course, you got to think, we went out of the way there for.
We did. We went
Mount
and
Rushmore.
visited.
So you're talking an hour away. So.
Right. Yeah, for sure. So, it was all worth it, as we'll get to here shortly.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Talking about all of it. But also, guys, I do want to bring up that we did pick up that new partner. We're still waiting the promo code to announce, but once we get that, we'll get it out to you guys. But you can go check them out at aquacase.net. They are your waterproof case and bag experts, so don't forget to check them out. Also, be sure to head over to our Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget to use Podcast 10 at checkout with outdoor-pro-shop.com for 10% off your order.
I forgot to open that door, so go ahead and talk about the beginning of our trip there, and I'll be right back.
Yeah, no problem. So, like I said, the beginning of our trip, I was hooked up to the camper, and I picked Mike up and crossed lanes. He met me that morning at about 4 o'clock, and we took off. We get out to Missouri, where I'm going to be working, where I'm at right now. And we dropped the camper off, set it up, and we're like, man, we can really lay down for a little bit. So we ended up going out and get something to eat, and
yeah, we had to have a lay down time there because it was a little rough.
Yeah, so we laid down, stayed in the camper for a little bit, got back up, and took off again to Wyoming. And that that was your first time through Iowa as well, correct?
Yep.
So you managed to get 3 states knocked off your list: Iowa, South Dakota, and Wyoming.
Did we do Nebraska a little bit or not?
No, we was like 3 miles. We thought about it. Remember?
Okay.
We was like,
yeah,
I
that's what
should
it was.
just drive you across to Nebraska, get a pop or soda, beer, something, whatever. That way you can say, "Yep, I've been to Nebraska now too." But
Yeah, that was while we were going through Iowa there.
Yeah, but yeah, what we did? We ended up going to South Dakota.
Yeah,
and
South Dakota, man, that's crazy. I mean, we drove so long, and it was exciting, like going out because I'd never been through there. But
Yeah.
but coming back, it's just like there's nothing.
You was over it coming back, huh? Is what you're saying?
Yeah, there's nothing there. I mean, it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but you're just looking. You're just looking for pheasant.
Pheasant and antelope.
And antelope, yeah.
Yeah. Well, but wait a minute. Now you got wall drug. There's 500,000 signs on both sides of the road telling you about wall drug. Which, let me tell you, folks, it was kind of a disappointment.
Well, we didn't actually get off the exit and go.
You're right.
So,
but
it didn't look like much from the interstate.
Sign lead up, though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
I was expecting to see something massive as we got to this exit, and like you said, though, it might be more in town there that we missed, but I had this big hyped up train in my head, you know, because every 300 yards was a sign.
Well, you would think that, you know, with all those signs, you would have something directly off the interstate that would, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of spark your interest to get off other than the signs.
Right. But yeah, as we got to, got through that. And then I think next big thing was Rapid City.
Yeah.
South Dakota. So we get to that, you know, that by this time we're calling them other boys. They was a little bit ahead of us. So we're calling them, hey, we're going to stop in Sturgis. Let's stop in Sturgis, check that out, because, you know, obviously that's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity kind of thing. Well, not once in a lifetime, but it's a once-in-a-blue moon opportunity. How often are you actually going to get out there? So we decided we was going to stop in Sturgis and link up with them, and that way we could all go in together and proceed to get our tags and meet Tom and Terry and get into camp. So why don't you tell them a little bit about our ventures from Rapid City into Sturgis, Mike?
Well, it went from let's see, probably around 80-some degrees. I mean, well, we left West Virginia in 80-some degrees.
Yeah,
I would say maybe mid-60s, probably middle 50s.
Yeah,
and you know, we start, you know, working our way into Sturgis, and it just started changing from light rain over into snow, and I was like, oh my gosh! I mean, it was just like instant.
Yeah, it was a light rain, but it wasn't a light snow.
No, it wasn't a light snow. It was heavy, big flakes.
Big flakes.
So it was like
quickly accumulating.
It was like you just switched the movie screen. Like you go from light rain to snow on the ground, and probably, what do you think? Like inch and a half, 2 inches of snow on people's vehicles coming past us.
Oh, easily. I mean, it was like we was starting to notice it. It was kind of snowing on us, but the people coming west or eastbound towards us, it was like, Mike, look at the hoods of these, look at the roofs of these trucks.
Yeah,
it was noticeable. And then the closer we got to Sturgis, it was laying on the ground, sticking, and slushy roads got real slick.
Yeah, and so we get in Sturgis, and we were wanting to go to the Iron Horse Saloon, obviously, because that's the most iconic place there.
Right.
But they were closed down, so they don't open up again until May. Most other things
May or June, into May, early June, yeah.
Yeah, it's May because we called and asked, remember? She said
that's right.
They don't
some of the other stuff doesn't open until June.
They actually direct their phone over to someone else, so
yeah,
that we had called and asked them. And so we go into this other place called the Knuckle Saloon, and it's another big, obviously, favorite there in Sturgis, and they have actual bull riding rink inside of this place.
Oh yeah, it was awesome, and they actually do, like you said, bull ring. They actually have sanctioned events where there's prize money to be won. And
oh yeah,
it's part of the legit circuit.
Yeah. So we ate there, had a beer, and food was great. Service was awesome. The lady there at the bar, she was great. She was intrigued that we were doing a podcast. We were doing a couple videos and things, and we shared those on Facebook so that people could see our, just kind of track our journey out there. So,
Right. Yep. Yeah. She was the one that mentioned. She said, "Well, y'all need to go out and check the arena out." Because we didn't know about it, just sitting there. We were just sitting there. I seen the sign. I'm like, and I thought, and I told Jeffrey, I'm like, you need to come back out here and ride a bull. She's like, well, no, that's a sanctioned event. I said, what? She's like, yeah, it's just on the other side of the bar here. She said, y'all need to go check it out. So obviously we walked out there and checked it out. Man, it was sweet. They got an upper deck out there, so you can sit and look down as the riders come out of the chute.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
So after that, we head into Sundance, Wyoming, where we went to the little Sundance hardware and sporting goods store there. And that's where you got your turkey tag, and we spent some time there and talked to them guys and learned a little bit of history behind their store. That used to be one of the flour mills there. And I think he said that it'd been there since like the mid-1800s. They still actually had flour bags hanging on the wall that she showed us when we left.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was a neat little place.
Yeah, it was. It was very neat. And like she said, I think that, like you said, it was there for 18 something. And I think it became a hardware store. What did she saying? Like 1913 or something like that?
Yeah, she said
it's 1923.
It's been a hardware store on that side over 100 years. So the whole thing has been there for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty impressive.
So you got your tag there. That was a pretty seamless process.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The tag, I don't know if you guys followed us there, that part of our journey. Very, very simple. I had to pay cash or a check, which I had to run back out to the truck to get a check. but
it was great. It was great that we still got to experience that, walk up to the counter and get your tag thing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. But, she explained the entire tag, what you have to do, how to do it. So their tags are a little different than ours. So you have to punch out if you end up harvesting, killing a bird or whatever you're hunting, I assume, you end up you got to take the month and the date, and you have to cut that out or punch it out once you've completed that hunt and attach it to the animal.
Yeah.
So that was pretty neat. That way, there's no question that you're tagged out now and your tag has holes in it.
Yeah, one of the things that we didn't really understand was how do they end up tracking that information? I know that Tom and Terry, they have to do their paperwork and reports for the guide service, but what if you're hunting public?
Well, so I think there's a way, because I was looking at it, I think you have to actually check yours in. But where we was hunting with Tom and Terry, they have to claim it because it was with them.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. But yeah, so we're going to take a break real quick and hear a word from our sponsors, and then we'll get into that entering into the turkey camp, and we're seeing the cabins and all that good stuff, and then we'll get into the hunt. Are you looking for that European or craft beer culture? Breathe Wine and Culture Company, where your wine and craft beer culture thrives. Located in downtown Huntington, West Virginia, the Breathe Wine and Culture Company offers over 150 types of craft beer, extensive wine choices, thoughtful gifts, and even grab-and-go food options, as well as specialized catering. Shop local, shop small for a unique experience. You can check them out on their Facebook page or give them a call today at 304-823-4577. Breathe Wine and Culture Company, 304-823-4577. All right, guys, so we're back talking about we're doing a little turkey camp recap there for our Highland, Wyoming trip, Sundance, Wyoming, with Tom and Terry out there at Highland Outfitters.
Yeah. So before we get back into that, I'm going to go ahead and do our salute to Valor.
Sounds good.
So this evening, our salute to Valor is going to go out to Charles Elwood Yeager, born in 1923. He was raised in Hamlin, West Virginia, and his service began in World War II as a private in the United States Army. And he was in the Army from 1941 to 1947. And he was actually assigned to the Army Air Forces. After He enlisted pilot training, and upon graduation was promoted to the rank of flight officer. He ended up shooting down 11 and a half enemy aircrafts. The half is just basically another pilot assisted him in the shoot down. And, on October 12th, 1944, he obtained ace in a day status, which means shooting down 5 enemy aircrafts in one mission.
Dang.
Yeah, right? He later went on to command squads in Germany as well as Asia. He served in the Air Force from 1947 to 1975. He was also in the Korean War and Vietnam War. He was promoted to Brigadier General in 1969 and retired in 1975. He flew over 360 different types of aircraft over a 70-year period.
Wow, that is crazy.
So during his 3-war active duty flying career, it spanned more than 30 years and took him to many parts of the world. Like I said, Korea War and the Soviet Union during the height of the Cold War. All of it, man. He was in all of it. He was awarded the Air Force Distinguished Service Medal, Army Distinguished Service Medal, 2 Silver Stars, 2 Legion of Merit badges, 3 Distinguished Flying Crosses, a Bronze Star Medal, Purple Heart, and among many others. So he had quite the illustrious career, and he ended up passing away 5 years ago in 2020.
Dang.
So if you're a West Virginian, you know who Chuck Yeager is.
Yeah.
That's
for sure.
That's just a given. The man flew under the bridge just to piss people off.
Well, we got the airport named after him. We got the bridge named after him. There's all kinds of stuff here in West Virginia that's named after him.
Yeah, first man to break the sound barrier. Impressive.
All right, so let's get into camp. So we're going. We get. Tom comes out. We meet him about, it was probably only about 5 minutes away from where we entered into the ranch there.
Yeah, it was. He met us. It was about 10 minutes from Sundance, and then was where we met him, I'd say, probably. And then he took us into camp on the, we just talked about all that rain and all that such. So he took us into camp on that muddy old road.
Yeah, he said, you guys going to want to be careful going down this hill. He said it's a little slick.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad, but it had a couple spots.
Well, if you didn't have any ruts, it'd have been way worse.
Sure. Oh yeah, it would have for sure.
So we get into camp, and we're looking at our cabins and stuff, getting our orders there to where we're going to sleep and all that stuff. And man, they've got some really nice cabins there on the property, and
yes, they do.
Like your shower house and where you go do your business and all that stuff. That's that's an upscale, from the turkey camp and the deer camp that we know here in West Virginia. Obviously you're with a guide service, but it was nice, to be able to go over there and do that.
Yeah, it was kind of funny if you think about it. Like the bathhouse, really, really nice, but there was a trick to it. So you had to unlock the door before you come out. What's that?
You had to unlock the door before you come out.
Yeah, we made sure to remind Tom of that. He locked us all out of the bathroom one morning.
Oh, what it take us like 2 hours to get in it?
Yeah, it did. But no, like I said though, you had to open the sink faucets all the way up to get the shower to come hot because it had that on demand. Yeah. But once you did that, it worked great. They just haven't got it dialed in yet.
No, but it was still good, to be able to do.
Oh
that.
yeah.
So
half these places I've been hunting, you don't have running water anyhow.
Yeah. No, the camps that we've been in Pocahontas County, we had a tub where spring water ran out of the mountain, and that's where you went and bathed off. You just bathed off.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Well, you have running water, but it's the temperature of a freezing ass creek.
Yeah, it's just on the verge of freezing.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Oh gosh. So, that evening we had elk burgers and antelope burgers. Terry cooked up all kinds of food for us that evening, and she was the cook the whole time. Tom helped out when he could. But we had breakfast, lunch, and dinner all 3 days, and it was like, man, this is freaking awesome. They had a little.
Oh, it was a setup. It was a smorgasbord. And it was all fresh stuff.
Like
you said, antelope burger, elk burger. We had elk chili, or not elk chili, elk spaghetti.
Yeah.
You know, it just all of it was stuff that they had harvested and was bringing it back to
Yeah.
allow these guests like us and other people to experience what they do and what they're harvesting.
Yeah, and their little mess hall area there had a fireplace in it, and
Oh yeah, you love that.
oh, I did, man. I kept that thing hot for sure.
Yeah, I had to step out many a times because you had her roaring in there.
Yeah, if it didn't have a fire in it, it had one in it when we got back from hunting.
Oh yeah.
But that wood, all they got out there is pine, and what's the other wood? There's only 2 different trees that you can get wood from out there to burn. He said that there was red pine,
mostly
and something
pine.
else.
Yeah, and you know how fast pine burns, so man, we was going through it.
Yeah, it sure was.
We'd take him a load of oak out there. People would be like, "What is this hot burning wood?"
Yeah, that lasts all night when you put like four sticks in there.
Yeah. Yep.
So next morning, we talked about how we were going to do it, and we get up, have a cup of coffee, and get us a couple snack bars there, and stand around and talk about what we was going to do that day.
Which getting up out there is a little bit weird because 5 o'clock it's daylight.
Yeah, 5 o'clock is you can start seeing everything.
Yeah. Yeah. So we was up. I mean, I know you guys. I think you guys were up at 3. I was up at 3, like 3:10.
I'm gonna switch my mic out here and see if it changes because I'm going in and out like Mike was that night.
Oh, all right, but I'll keep on that. So like I was saying, at like 3, I was up at 3, like 3:10. You guys were up at 3. Got a cup of coffee and finally got the young kids. 20-year-old kids. They hardest to get up. They were sleeping until the last minute.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Finally got them up. I said, this is my last warning. I'm leaving and you're staying in bed if you don't get up now. They end up getting up and they was ready. Once their feet hit the floor, they was pumped. They was stoked. They was ready to roll.
Yeah.
But it was the whole crawling out of the bed. They ain't got the experience we got where you got to just roll over and get up, go to work.
Well, we got up there, 3:15, and went to bed at it was probably 1 o'clock our time, what we're normally used to, and it was 11 o'clock there, so.
Yeah.
A little different, I mean, it's, when you're dealing with 2 hours, you don't think that it's that much, but it kind of affects you.
Oh, it does. Yeah, sure. My problem, I'm so used to changing time zones anymore. It's like just another hour.
So, we drove over to where we were going to walk in. We're on a cattle ranch out there, 6,000 acre cattle ranch. They probably had 1,500, 2,000 head of cattle, I'd say.
I don't know. They had a ton of them. I know they was calving and had 150 calf on the ground for sure, though. So,
yeah. So
there was a ton of babies.
So we drive over to where we're going to walk in, and we're, we get over there, and it took us 20 or so minutes or so to get to where we was going to actually maybe set up, and where they had seen these birds roosting and seen them beforehand. But man, we heard birds right from the beginning.
Oh yeah, before we even got to where we was going to stop to listen, we'd heard birds.
They were fired up.
Yeah, well, I think that first morning, I think we ended up hearing 9 or 12 different gobblers.
Oh yeah, for sure.
At least.
I mean, you had a couple, maybe even 2 or 3 there that would crack off one, and it'd be like a cadence.
Oh yeah, I mean, we didn't have to make a hoot owl or nothing. It was just on.
No. So once the hens started, joining in, we had one that flew down off the roost that we could hear, but the other guys, Jeffrey and Raymond and Tom, said that they had heard the birds all fly down, and they were in that little draw area right there off to the left. But that was weird because that was the only bird we heard fly down.
Yeah, I know, and I mean, I know they was all around us because I mean, as soon as that one flew down, it wasn't a minute, and they was on top of us.
Yep.
So it literally flew down basically into our lap, which we'd talked about before. That I screwed myself on that one because we had one behind us clucking, So I turned around because I thought they was coming towards us. And where I turned around, it put you guys over my left shoulder where the birds came in from.
Yeah.
So there wasn't no way I was going to be able to shoot.
Yep.
And I tried, but Michael, and you said, I'm not moving, just shoot over me. And I'm like, I'm not shooting over you. If it doesn't come out, it doesn't come out. I wasn't comfortable.
Yeah. Well,
but
the
was
shot,
what, like six,
the shot that you
6:05?
had, the shot that you had there at lunch, was after lunch when we went back in. That was between two trees, and we, me and Terry were both on one side of you. So I just put my hand up, put my finger over my ear, and you had the barrel out plenty far enough. I was like, let's let her fly.
Yeah, I had it way past your faces and everything, but
yeah,
that was the mistake. Should have never took that 20 gauge yet.
Yeah, so
we'd have been done the first day hunting.
Let's hit on that a little bit.
Yeah, so I'd pattern that gun back home. And I like I told you, we was talking about it on the way out and everything, that where I have to aim. So for me to shoot that gun with the ammo I was using, I'm gonna play with it when I get time back home now. I'm gonna switch up different brands of ammo and different all that, everything. You got to get it right.
Yeah.
But for what I had and what I was using, I had to aim at the beard to get good headshot, and that's where I thought I was holding. But, he was still partially in that full strut stage. He kind of dropped down and put his head up, but I don't think it was high enough up.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking where his head wasn't fully stretched and I aimed at the beard, that's what messed me up.
He was,
because I know I hit some pellets in the body.
He was still very curious of what was coming on, he had all them hens with him. And there was there another Jake or was there another Longbeard in that group?
No, there was two Longbeards because that was the problem. They was closer at one point, but both of them was together. And if I'd have shot, I'd have hit both of them. And you're only allowed one bird in Wyoming.
Yep.
So that's the problem. You got a waiting game, and sometimes the waiting game can screw you, and you lose out completely.
Now, he was up there, he had come off that side slope onto that little flat, and then he was on his way down to us. So he was, he really, like you're saying, he really didn't get to the point to where he raised his head up in, curiosity of what was down there. He kind of just, looked around.
Yeah. Yeah, he turned towards us, and he turned away, and then he turned towards us, and I don't know what he was doing, but I know the hens were kind of pushing them away. They was pulling them away from us. You could see that.
Yeah.
Like they wasn't stopping. Like, you see our turkeys back home, they stop and they scratch and they forage a little bit. I never really noticed any of these birds scratching around hardly. Did you?
No, they didn't scratch at all. They were pecking. And they were just, as they were going, they were just pecking at what was available because they'd have no, brush and stuff, it's just...
right. And I think that gets them through an area quicker too, if you think about it, because our birds, they'll scratch, they'll look under what they just kicked up, and that keeps them right there in that area a little bit, where these guys have nothing to push out of their way. They just see what's on the ground and pluck it up and go on.
Yeah, I mean, and you ain't got grass. I mean, you got a little bit of grass, but it's not no more than 2 inches long, and it stays that way.
Right. Yeah. See, I wonder if they got grasshoppers. That's something we'll have to ask Tom and them. If they got grasshoppers like that out there.
Yeah, that's one thing we was talking about on the way home. I have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if they do. I know our birds love grasshoppers. You see them out in these fields, that's what they're after.
Yeah. So we go back out for our evening hunt there after lunch, and that was part of it. We stayed out there for, I don't know, it was almost 7 o'clock.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah, and and we had some other birds working, but Mike ended up taking his little siesta there for a minute.
Yeah,
and
you got up.
Huh?
You got up.
Yeah, so I ended up getting up because we had a bird just not too far from us. He was a good maybe 150, 200 yards. You could hear him. So I'm like, man, I'm going to close the distance and see if that doesn't help. Because, the hen's supposed to go to the gobbler.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, maybe if I close the distance, he'll come out. And once I crossed over a little ditch and up another little draw and down another one, and I was in this big old open meadow. And so I didn't really have anything except for 3 little pine trees. And I crawl up under them little pine trees and lay down, curled up, just to where I could get the gun out to shoot if need be. And I called, and there was 2 of them. They lit off right now. Just boom, boom. I'm like, okay. And I waited a little bit, and they gobbled again on their own. But at that time, they was moving the other direction.
Yeah.
I'd say a hen took them away. So that was pretty much the extent of the evening hunt, because that was getting later in the night. They was probably getting ready to go roost anyhow. But as we was walking out to meet Tom and the other guys, you was still a little bit behind us. But they was a gobbler, longbeard, coming towards us from that big bottom where Tom and the kids went the first morning.
Yeah.
And if we'd have just kind of sat down in that area, he'd have come almost directly to us. But we didn't know it. And by the time we got out there and I seen him, he was already turned around and going the other way.
Well, we saw a couple heading the fence up over there too on the other side, going up the ridge.
Yeah.
And these birds don't care. They will climb rock.
Oh yeah. Well, that's like Terry. I mean, she was glassing birds across the ridge on that mountain face.
Yeah.
Just climbing it. 3 of them climbing a mountain.
Yeah.
Not even a care in the world.
Straight up.
Straight up and down. Not they wasn't traversing it sideways. They was going straight up and down that mountain.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy.
Yep. So we get back in there, and dinner that evening we had elk spaghetti, and she had some garlic bread there, and
you got to help with that.
Yeah, I volunteered. I thought she was going to do it, but I said, we can help out too. So I said, I cook bread at the house all the time on the Blackstone for my daughter. I said, I'm a pro at this.
She was like, well, then you can have it.
Yeah. And then she said, well, you got her.
Yeah.
Get on it. So, but that was amazing spaghetti. I'd never had spaghetti with elk in it.
Yeah. Yeah. It was really good.
So next morning, we get up. We didn't get over as early as we did before because, the birds didn't really respond or come down till, that first day till around 6, a little after 6, I believe. We they were vocal and we could hear them, but they wasn't flying off until, a little after 6. So.
Right. And we'd already decided, that morning we knew exactly where we was going to go sit.
Yeah.
We ended up putting decoy out, and we knew what we was doing. If it didn't work there, we was going to start. If we didn't have nothing by like 8 o'clock, we already decided we was going to run and gun.
Yeah.
But we set them decoys out where we wanted them. You guys faced one way, I faced the other, looking at this field. You was looking at this one. Terry was looking at this one. So we had our 360-degree coverage for that morning.
Yeah, so lead us into the redemption day here.
And then redemption happens. So yeah. So like I said, we had our decoys set out. I was watching where we knew we'd not roosted, but where 2 birds were heading to roost the night before. So we knew they could be coming down towards us that way. So I was facing that direction. You was facing towards kind of the big field and the draw there, the rock draw, and Terry is facing more towards the rock draw and that other portion of woods. So it was, like I said, 360 degrees of coverage. And Terry whispered, she said, I see a hen. She said, you're going to have to turn around. They're coming in from behind us again.
Yeah, and I hadn't even seen them yet. They just all popped out of the middle of nowhere. Yeah,
it was like, I got turned around real quiet, like, and I'm looking. I said, "Where they at? Where they coming?" And I'm like, "Never mind. I see them."
I didn't even know that there was a gobbler in the group. It looked like a huge hen entourage just come up over that little knoll right there.
Right, because that's all I seen. Once I seen them, it was like 5, 6, 7, 8 hens. Boom, 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 boom. I'm like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, I know.
That's a lot of hens. And then I seen a Jake, and he was chasing the hens. I'm like, "Okay, well, there's a Jake." I said, I thought to myself, I really don't want to shoot a Jake, but if that's the only thing that gives me an opportunity, it's still a legal bird in the state,
Yeah,
so sure. I'm thinking I'll shoot it if I got to. It's our last day of hunting, basically. So we got to do what we got to do. And then I seen the longbeard, And that's when I said, "Oh, there's a gobbler in there. He's right there."
He got
and I
locked
think
in.
that's when you seen him. He said,
Yep.
"Yeah, I see him."
Yep.
And so I told Mike, I said, "Shoot, hit a couple little light clucks and purrs."
And I thought, man, please don't come up in front of us right there on that little
like they did the day before.
Like they did the day before. Because we didn't have the decoys out the day before. We had the decoys out today, and I was like, man, we want to get that bird over this way to where he can notice that those other birds are there, something different, and it'll draw him in. So we just did a couple little clucks and purrs, and it turned him around.
It picked his head up, and when he picked his head up, he seen that decoy, and the man didn't need any more hens with him. He had 15 to 20 hens, but he seen that, and he's like, "I'm gonna add a new one to my collection."
Yep.
So, and after we got him and stuff, because he come in, and like he had no care in the world for nothing but those decoys.
Nope.
And he stopped at right between me and a tree. I couldn't see him, and Terry knew it. She seen it. She's like, "You can't see him, can you?" I'm like, I'm like, "He's between me and that tree."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, and I think I whispered back to you. I said, give me one more cluck."
Yeah.
And you clucked, and he took 3 steps, and he met his maker.
Yeah. Oh, geez, I just got choked. the excitement of this hunt.
As soon as he stepped out from that tree, it was game on. I wasn't waiting no more.
I mean, don't get me wrong. You missing, that was still an exciting, moment up to that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
even just working those birds, getting them gobbling back all at one time. Because like there one time we had anywhere from 7 to 9 birds gobbling back at us.
Oh yeah, and I mean they come out strutting the whole way.
Yeah, beautiful.
I mean that was a sight to see. I don't know if you could hear it, but you could hear them drumming.
Well, yeah, for sure.
And spitting a little bit.
Yep.
So I mean, it was that gets your blood pumping, and that might also affected my shot that day too. It was just the adrenaline and the excitement of the first time I ever get a shot on one.
Yeah.
It happens. It's why they call it hunting.
That's right.
You're not guaranteed.
But the next day we was killing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I said. I put that gun up and I said, "All right, we're not hunting tomorrow. We're killing."
Yeah.
This game on with the old 870.
Yep. So we got to go back to camp early that day.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we went back to camp early, and actually, that's the day that Tom locked us all out of the bathroom too. So the boys were back at the camp because Tom ended up getting his phone in the bathroom.
Yeah,
and I guess when he pulled the door shut, it was still locked.
Yeah.
So they was there when we got back. They was there trying to unlock the door. And we was like, "Well, me and Mike will work on it. Why don't you guys get the heck out of here, go hunt?" So that's what they ended up doing. They went hunted, and the ranch people come out and helped us get the door open.
They got on some birds, but just couldn't get them to come in. Yeah,
but that's what I was going to say. So they found the key to the bathhouse inside the bathhouse. So it's a great place to store the key if you don't lock yourself in it.
They've got it now.
But yeah, like you were saying, them boys went out because actually Tyler come out.
Yeah, Tyler did come out.
Which we've spoke with him. He's their assistant there in the mountain lion season. He runs the dogs and he gets people on mountain lions. But he come out and hit them, the boys and Tom and him. They all went out and set up some new blinds and stuff like that, and ended up getting on some birds. And we'll have to have them on to tell the full story. But I wasn't the only one that missed this weekend.
No, you sure wasn't. But it wasn't for lack of opportunity. That's for sure.
Oh no, Lord no! They
had plenty of.
They
opportunities.
had plenty. I think they missed 3 shots that day. One guy missed twice. One guy missed once.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then ended up the next day. Jeffrey ended up getting to kill one, and Raymond missed again.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we had an amazing time out there. Dan finally, laid a bird down on the ground, and that was just the icing on the cake. And
It was.
We have Highland Outfitters link on our live right now, so they are booked in Wyoming for turkey hunts in 2026. But 2027 is their bookings are open all the time. So if you want to get in and get a booking for Merriam, now's the time to do it.
Highly recommend it. Not just Merriam's, they do Texas too.
Oh yeah, they do Texas, but I'm talking about
go down there
specifically
with them
Wyoming.
Do a Rio.
Yeah, but I'm just specifically speaking on Wyoming. You know,
right?
That camp that
right.
we was
But
in.
I wanted to throw that nugget out there that you can hunt Rios with them too.
Yeah, no, for sure. Just in different.
If you've
month.
never got to hunt a Merriam's, by gosh, do it. Oh my gosh, it was amazing.
Yeah. Yep, awesome time for sure.
And that's like, I think me and Jeffrey, we was talking, we might try to hit maybe Kansas or Oklahoma this weekend and try to kill us a Rio and have one bird less to worry about for the Grand Slam next year.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Get them while you can get them, for sure.
Absolutely. Yep.
All right, guys. Well, we appreciate you listening in tonight and watching our live. Thanks for everybody tuning in and viewing all of our content that we had out there. We done a couple lives at night, just kind of like your turkey camp experience and things like that. Just kind of give people an inside view of how we're doing out there. Kind of, follow us on the journey there. Be sure to check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcasts. We're going to be airing an episode tonight that was with Jaden Gooseman, one of the big-time IBO youth archery shooter guys here in West Virginia. He's with ASA. He shoots all kinds of different tournaments all over the country. He was actually at some while we were out there because I was following him on his page. So that episode's going to air tonight. Tomorrow, we're going to be airing the Outcast Outdoors episode that we had, where we had the bow fishing guys here in studio. That episode's going to air tomorrow. So we got 2 episodes coming out, and be sure to enjoy those and share them and like them and do all that good stuff.
Also, don't forget to check out naturesvoicegamecalls.com and use podcast 15 at checkout for 15% off your entire order.
15% if you use that, if you're listening now. But I'll give you another little secret. If you're listening tonight, there's a 20% off coupon on there. Get on there and find it.
Oh, a little sneaky.
A little sneaky. Come on.
All
right, guys.
Thank you guys for joining.
Appreciate it. Y'all have a good night.
This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Call.
Do you want the true Western hunt experience? Book your hunt of a lifetime today with Highland Outfitters, LLC. Located in Highland, Wyoming, 50 miles west of Casper. Their location in central Wyoming gives you access to some of the best hunting areas in the state. Highland specializes in archery hunts for elk and antelope. Their operations include Wyoming, Texas, and Africa. Highland Outfitters employs some of the finest guides in the business. All guides are licensed by the Wyoming Board of Professional Outfitters and Guides. No matter what the species you decide to hunt, you can count on your guide giving you 110% of being the true professional guide from start to finish. Book your hunt today at 307-797-3311 or 307-797-3312. Visit them on the web at HighlandOutfitters.com. With Highland Outfitters, you will get the true Western adventure.